Welcome to Everything Money. Today we are talking about the gaming company Corsair. We will show you the company's financials and fundamental analysis behind it using our software. Stay tuned. We will also tell you what you should be paying for this company using a stock analyzer tool. If you felt alone not knowing what to pay, we'll show you. If you want to trade Corsair at a quicker pace, say you're into charts, trendings, and candlesticks, you can join Mo in that Bidnass Nation. He will show us how to trade this, all of this and more in this video. But first, who are we? Why should you listen to us? I bring your normal person questions about Corsair. I don't know anything about this company, but it doesn't matter. We'll show you the financials from a couple guys who maintain a portfolios of well over $100 million with real estate all over the world, multiple businesses, stocks out the wazoo. We'll show you all this and more, and we'll go to Paul Gabriel to do it. Paul, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you. So first off, guys, follow us on Instagram. We're growing that channel a lot. It's brand new. And then also follow us personally on the other accounts below because it makes us feel less left out. So guys, this is our Everything Money exclusive software. We go to the 8 pillars link. We type in Corsair Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Oh, look at this stock. This is down a lot. $46 in February, and it's now $26. I rarely look at stock price very quickly. Okay, this is a very new company, so we're not going to have a lot of data here.
Mo, do you know why people ask you about this company all the time?
I think it's because it's new, it's trendy. People are coming hot off of playing video games, maybe. I don't know.
So one of the things...
You want really good audio when you play Halo?
I love Halo.
Halo, I love Halo. So one of the things about our software and about our process, we're trying to teach a process here on investing. We're value investors. The future is unknown. So what I like to do is look at the past to see, can I make a reasonable assumption what's going to happen in the future?
I think what people, if you're watching this video and you were like me, people want to buy Corsair, Paul, and just have the stock ticker go up. That's the whole. That's all the hope and
that's great.
Thoughts and prayers I have when investing.
And I want the same thing. However, what I believe is the fundamentals, what's been proven over time, in every market in history over long periods of time, the fundamentals of the business will drive the stock price up or down, just depending where the fundamentals are going. If the fundamentals are getting better, then the stock will do better. If the fundamentals are getting worse, the stock will do worse. That's just it. It's a very simple process. If you don't believe that, I get it. You're seeing all this hype out there. You see stocks going up and down, et cetera. But over long periods of time, when I say long periods of time, 10, 20 years at a time, and you're probably like 10 or 20 years, I'm only 30 years old. That's the thing. But you have 35 or 40 years till retirement. Some of you have 20 years to retirement. That's a long time. In the next 20 years, things will change a lot. We always talk about Intel and Cisco. These were untouchable companies in 2000. Their stock is still below their 2000 peak, even though their revenue and profit have tripled in each company. So it doesn't make sense to me. Now, with Corsair, Seth, I don't even have enough data to go look at things here. Because look, we only have 2 years of data here. We like to look at 5 years. We look at all these metrics. Our 8 pillars. I'll just go right to the 8 pillars tab to show our software. Look at this. Guys, here are 8 pillars. As an example, let me pull up Microsoft to show you all the data we have on Microsoft. Why? Because Microsoft, it's easier for me to make a determination on where Microsoft's going than Corsair. Why? Because they've been around for so long. I'm looking at things there. I can see a lot more analyst expectations. They're going to be a lot more vocal about, the company's going to be a lot more vocal. I see this data. It shows the data here. I can look at this and say, okay, I can look at their financials with our exclusive software and go, okay, I see lots of data here. I can see revenue growth. I can see profit growing. I can see balance sheet. I can see cash flow. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to sit there and say, what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years that I can sit there and reasonably understand and put a value to versus what others are doing out there, which is hope that the stock just goes up in price. That's a hope and prayer. Every single successful person I know, no matter what business they're in, the ones that truly last the test of time are the ones that have a process, and they focus on the process, not the result. Because in the long periods of time, the process will lead to the right result. Every single time in everything you do in your life, if you want to lift weights, you lift weights every single day. Do you see muscle gain every single day?
Look at these things coming
Yes,
through.
but how long did it take you to start seeing that?
All year.
Yeah, and you probably didn't notice it, but other people would have noticed it, right? Same with me. Right, I've lost 15 pounds this year, but it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
It happened slowly but surely. So this is if this what I'm saying makes sense to you, great. If it doesn't make sense to you, we still have other ways to make money. Mo does charts, but Corsair has not enough data for me to go, all right, I like this thing. It just doesn't have enough for me to sit there and go, this feels comfortable for me. I don't know where this company's going. The other thing is they're probably issuing a ton of shares.
Not too bad, actually. I looked
Oh, that
it up.
isn't bad. You're right.
How about their debt, Paul? If we were going through our pillars,
What is their debt?
Yeah, how are they doing on?
$633 million in debt, and last year's free cash flow was $77 million. So it's a little high. Actually, their free cash flow is down in the last 2 years. Look at that. They went from $126 million down to $77.
What does that mean for someone like me?
Well, for everybody, why is their revenue growing and their free cash flow is dropping? Because the free cash flow is used to buy back shares, pay dividends, pay down debt, make acquisitions, or reinvest back in the business. 5 very, very important things. So you want to see by the way, it's okay if free cash flow is declining. But my question is, why is revenue increasing and free cash flow is declining? These numbers tell a story. We're trying to teach the questions to ask through the story. This software was created because every one of our users at the very beginning was like, wait a second, how do I do my own analysis when I can't wait for you guys to sit there and do every individual company I want done? So we made the software. You get everything you see here. You get it on your mobile app, does all the work for you. You get the stock analyzer tool, which we'll do in a few minutes. You get exclusive daily content from us, 2 or 3 videos a day, only to our subscribers. You get access to Seth Mo and I, and you get the community of people you can talk to, because I'm quite sure if this makes sense to you, it doesn't make sense to a lot of people around you, and you can't talk to them. You're on your own island. Now you can join the community. This is all 90 cents per day. Less than a cup of coffee. You get all of this. If you're able to increase your returns by 1 or 2% a year, this will pay off hundreds of thousands, if not millions in the long run, all for only 90 cents a day. 2 ways to sign up, everythingmoney.com or Patreon. Either one gets you access in minutes. The benefit of everythingmoney.com is you don't pay a sales tax yet because we're too small, and you don't get double charged in the first month. So it's cheaper on everythingmoney.com. Do it. Let's go to the stock analyzer tool, our most popular tool. So guys, I'm going to do a 5-year analysis on this company. I'm going to do 3 assumptions here. 10, 15, 20% revenue growth. Share change, I'm going to go 4, 2, 0, which I doubt it's going to be 0. Actually, let's go 4, 3, 2. Profit margin, I'm going to go 6, 8, 10. Free cash flow margin, I'm going to do the exact same thing. PE, I'm going to go 13, 15, 17. All I'm doing here, guys, is everything is assumptions when you're analyzing any sort of investment. What assumptions are you making? I'm going to go to 12.5%, my desired return. Why 12.5%? Because if you just invest in an ETF, you're going to get 10%. So you got to get something that makes it worth the squeeze, right? So give yourself a better return. Hit the analyze button. Oh!
Look at this.
Wow. So, what's this telling me, guys? I'm actually surprised by this. This is telling me
your assumptions better be right.
So based on these assumptions, guys, that's the thing. What Mo just said is very important.
Yeah.
If my assumptions are correct, this is a buy all day right now. This middle assumption here, if you believe these middle assumptions are correct, you're buying the stock all day long, even with them diluting owners by 3% a year. But that's what's important. You got to make sure that these assumptions are correct. So you got to do more research to decide if these assumptions. I'm actually surprised by this. Weren't you, Mo?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I was kind of tuning in and out because I was like, this is not going to be anything special.
But this is why the stock analyzer tool was made.
It's very useful.
They just reported earnings, Paul. So shares of the company jumped 7%, but they're the weaker than expected third quarter result and missed earnings expectations. Adjusted earnings fell 70% year to year.
Oh, look at that. Net revenue declined 14.4%. So guys, this is something I talked about in other videos. This is a company that did well because of COVID.
That's it. So when I see these things where net revenue declined 70%, yeah, that sounds really bad.
No, not 70%.
What?
14. Net revenue
Earnings
declined.
fell 70%. Revenue fell 14%.
Okay, so even in that case, you're basing it off of an anomaly situation. Yes, they missed by 14%. What did you expect them to do? They're not going to beat that number. I mean, the odds are that they're not going to beat that number. So I look at it as, yeah, analysts say they missed by this, but to me, it's not that bad. Put it in the grand scheme of things. It's not that bad. You know that it was an anomaly.
Well, just like Carnival Cruise Line didn't make any money, that was an anomaly.
Of course.
Just like Southwest lost money. That was why? Because of COVID.
So when Carnival comes back next quarter, and they crush like their expectations of last year, it's like, well, of course they crushed last year because there was nothing there last
Mo,
year.
remember one thing though. Analysts' expectations, beating that is a lot different than beating previous year. You got to look at those totally different. Because analysts' expectations should be guided by the company in a lot of ways. And smart analysts would have said, wait a second. Did I just say smart analysts? It's like saying
you
jumbo
did, and I
shrimp.
was like, that's
jumbo
double
shrimp.
entendre.
So analyst expectations should factor in the fact that their revenue will probably be hit because of the fact that COVID's over, or pretty close to over. A year ago, all people could do was sit at home and play video games. They bought a lot of gear, right? So I think my expectations already are wrong because of that. Already. So let's go do some, let's go negative 2%.
So the other argument YouTubers are saying is that the gaming industry as a whole is going to grow to $1 gajillion over the next decade.
Right,
So
and guess what?
This is bound to go with it.
120 years ago, the airline industry and the car industry did not exist. They grew by a gajillion %. And in that time, thousands of airlines and car businesses went under.
Thousands, many thousands.
Hey, when it comes to your share dilution, I would even dilute a little more. We've seen historically that a lot of these newer startup companies are diluting, and they're not slowing down.
Yeah, so, I mean
you can play with this in so many different ways.
That's the whole point of stock analyzer tool. It's about your assumptions you're going to make.
Yeah.
What about trading it, Mo? Because if you want to make money, you can make money by trading it and don't care at all about the fundamentals.
So I'm going to show you. This is the 1 year chart. This is all we have to base it off of. But this is definitely a 50% stock. So there's your high, there's your low, and here's your middle ground. And so it has fallen, and it's tried to pop up one time. And so this is a resistance line. This line that I drew at about $42. It's going to struggle to get through 42. So even from a long-term perspective, I struggle with you getting into this one. What I would rather you do is come over here to a daily chart and just try to catch these little swing trades that happen every so often, going up, making a couple dollars, coming down, making a couple dollars, and so forth and so on. This is where you make your money on this thing, because the predictability of the stock price is just going to be up and down. Take advantage of it. Instead of getting in there for 3 months, try to get in there for 3 days and just make a couple percentage points here and there. So if you want to learn how to do that, come and join me in the BitNest Nation. You get all my training videos, and they teach you how to swing trade, and that is exactly what I just explained to you.
Final take on Corsair, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know. I just don't know if I can predict what's going to happen in the next 5 years. We never know what's going to happen, but with bigger companies and doing more research, we can figure out a little bit more. Now, if they fall low enough, it could be an acquisition for somebody who wants to get into the gear business. So I'm just going to avoid it.
That's our take on Corsair. Stay tuned. We'll update you as the time progresses. Join the community below. You can get the software, and you can see more of our videos. Keep watching. It's a language to learn, and we're happy you are on the ride with us. So fondle the thumbs up, and we'll see you next video.